Something big is happening on Europe's railways. It's a place where artificial intelligence is colliding with a brand new set of incredibly strict safety laws. Now, this analysis we're about to walk through was carried out under the scientific supervision of Professor Vihar Kiskinov, and in it, we're going to explore exactly what the EU's new AI Act means for everyone in the rail industry. And let's be absolutely clear from the start. This is not just some minor technical update. The analyses we're drawing from calls this a fundamental re-architecting of the safety paradigm. What we're talking about here is a complete overhaul, a brand new foundation for how we design, build, and trust AI in systems where safety is non-negotiable. So to get our heads around this, we're going to follow a clear roadmap. First, we'll see how two very different sets of laws are now being fused together. Then, we're going to decode the specific legal tools that make it all work. After that, we'll walk through the new rulebook for high-risk AI. From there, we'll look at the real-world impact across the whole sector. And finally, we'll look at the big challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Okay, let's start with this idea of convergence. What we're witnessing here is a very deliberate merger of two powerful but until now totally separate legal worlds. The established world of railway safety and the new, fast-moving world of AI regulation. Think of it this way. On one side, you have the Rail Interoperability Directive. Its entire reason for being is to make sure trains and tracks work together seamlessly and safely across all of Europe. On the other side, you've got the brand new EU AI Act, which is the world's first major law for artificial intelligence, designed to make sure all AI is trustworthy and serves people. The legal bridge that connects these two is Article 106 of the AI Act. Now, the technique the EU is using here is actually pretty brilliant. It's a strategy called legislative grafting. So instead of writing a whole new book of AI rules just for railways, the AI Act surgically inserts its rules directly into the existing railway safety laws. It's a clever move that embeds the core principles of trustworthy AI right into the regulations the industry already knows, which avoids a lot of confusion. So how does this grafting actually work in practice? Let's take a look at the legal toolbox being used, because these mechanisms are what turn the big ideas of the AI Act into hard, enforceable rules for every railway company. The European Commission basically has two key powers to make this happen. First, there are delegated acts. You can think of these as the power to add to the law, like creating a brand new safety requirement for an AI system. Then you have implementing acts, which are all about making sure that new rule is applied the same way everywhere. For example, defining the exact standardized test that AI has to pass. Now, almost everything we're talking about hinges on this one critical definition, a safety component. This is the gateway. The AI Act says that any AI system that is considered a safety component is automatically classified as high risk. And the definition is intentionally broad. If an AI's failure could endanger people or property, it's in. This is the key that unlocks the AI Act's strictest rules for the railway sector. So what does that mean in the real world? Well, we're talking about things like AI-based obstacle detection on the tracks, where a failure would be catastrophic. It definitely includes AI that predicts when a critical component on a train is about to fail. It covers the AI brains behind automatic train operation, and even AI systems that monitor the integrity of the track itself. All of these now fall squarely into that high-risk category. And because these AI systems are now officially labeled high risk, that triggers a whole new compliance framework. We're talking about a very demanding, mandatory rulebook that these systems must follow before they can even get close to being used on the European market. And this isn't just some final checklist you tick off at the end. Articles 9 through 15 of the Act lay out a mandatory journey. It starts with risk management that has to cover the AI's entire life cycle. It gets deep into data governance, how you collect it, manage it, and ensure it's unbiased. It demands massive amounts of technical documentation, transparency for the operators, meaningful human oversight, and of course, provable levels of accuracy, robustness, and cybersecurity. You know, to really understand the scale of this, just think about that data governance piece. Imagine you're building an AI for obstacle detection. Creating a data set that is sufficiently representative is a monumental job. Your AI can't just be trained in perfect weather. It has to work flawlessly in blinding Scandinavian snow and in the intense Mediterranean sun glare. Suddenly, the quality of your data becomes just as critical to safety as the physical steel of the tracks. Okay, so we have these new rules and these big challenges. What does all this actually mean for the people and the companies on the ground? Well, these new regulations are creating a ripple effect that's going to be felt by every single player in the railway ecosystem. and the impact here is spread all around. This isn't just a headache for the AI developers. The companies that build the hardware, the operators that run the trains, and even the national safety authorities who regulate the industry, everyone has a new role to play and new responsibilities to shoulder. Let's break that down. For manufacturers, compliance can't be an afterthought anymore. It has to be baked in from the very first line of code. For railway operators, they're no longer just users of technology. The law now defines them as deployers, which comes with a whole host of legal responsibilities. And for the regulators, let's be honest, they're facing a huge competency gap. They urgently need to build real expertise in AI and data science to be able to audit these systems effectively. And if you're wondering what the motivation is to get all of this right, well, the financial stakes are enormous. For the most serious violations of the AI Act, we're talking about potential fines of up to 35 million euros, or 7% of a company's global annual turnover, whichever number is higher. That figure alone tells you just how seriously the EU is taking this. So, where do we go from here? Let's turn to the road ahead, because navigating this new world means understanding the key challenges that still need to be solved and having a strategy for what comes next. There are really three big hurdles to overcome. First, there's the question of liability. If a self-learning AI system makes a mistake and causes an accident, who's at fault? Second is standardization. The law gives us principles like robustness, but the industry now has to turn that into detailed, measurable engineering standards. And third is harmonized enforcement, making sure these rules are applied the exact same way in every single one of the 27 EU member states. Now, the good news is the EU isn't just flipping a switch on this overnight. The industry has a 36-month transition period to get ready. The roadmap is pretty clear. Start by setting up your internal AI governance, then take a full inventory of all your systems to figure out which ones are high risk, and then move toward full compliance. The clock is ticking, and the time to start is right now. It's also really important to zoom out here and see the bigger global picture. This is very likely going to create what's known as the Brussels effect. Because the EU is such a massive market, international companies will probably find it's just easier and more efficient to build all their AI products to meet these high European standards. And just like that, the EU's rulebook becomes the unofficial global benchmark for AI safety in railways. So, while the compliance challenges are absolutely significant, the ultimate takeaway here should really be one of opportunity. As the analysis so perfectly concludes, this new regulation isn't just another hurdle to jump over, it's the starting line for a new race. The companies that can master this and prove their AI meets the world's highest safety standards will have a massive competitive advantage, and that will drive the next wave of innovation in making rail travel safer and more trustworthy for everyone.